Welcome back everyone to another Apple stock update. Today is the final day of November. We are heading into December now. Many people are asking, we've had some suggestions, what am I going to do with this pumpkin now that November is over? A very key suggestion that stuck out to me was a snowman. So in place of the pumpkin, a little snowman. I think we could try to make that happen. What do you think with the budget of the ad revenue? I don't know. Perhaps you'd have to watch this video all the way to the end to make enough ad revenue to be able to afford that snowman. We are working on a budget here, of course, in the studio. So what do you think? What would your suggestion be? What should I replace the pumpkin with? Let me know down below in the comments. In overall market news today, Moderna released its Phase 3 full study results, and it found that it had a 94.1% efficacy rate against COVID-19 with a 100% efficacy rate against severe COVID-19 cases. It wasn't enough to propel the overall market as the Dow slipped 0.91% today, or over 271 points. But many key stocks did do well, including Apple, and that's what we're going to be covering in this video. So I felt extremely compelled to do an Apple stock update today, and the reason for that is because the market did actually dip down today. It didn't do so well. However, Apple stock and another few notable stocks, such as a Tesla, did very well today on the market. So why the discrepancy? Well, you had certain companies have some strong earnings reports and outlooks because of the holidays and holiday sales. So many different factors happening here. But the overall market did go down today. If I'm not mistaken, my Robinhood portfolio has hit another all-time high. Speaking of all-time highs, Bitcoin also hit an all-time high today. I did a video recently on Bitcoin, a little bit controversial. Some people didn't exactly agree with what I had to say. I'll link that video down below in the comments, or rather the description. I'll put it in the comments as well. But I did that video on Bitcoin and it has hit an all-time high today. Quite something to think. I wouldn't have never thought it would happen today out of nowhere. But we're going back to Robinhood now and my Apple stock. So if you didn't catch my last Apple stock update, you would know that I sold my last shares of Store Capital and directly put that back into Apple. So the number that my portfolio stood at didn't necessarily change from that. It was just that I moved the money from one stock to another. So why did Apple do so good today? Well, it was actually upgraded to a buy by Loop Capital on the sales forecast and overall 5G optimism. In addition to that upgrade from Loop Capital, it also got a price target increase today from Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley actually increased the price target from $171 to $191. They cited the results of a survey of 3,500 people that indicated strong smartphone purchase intention driven by 5G technology in this super cycle that the experts are calling it. Morgan Stanley pointed to long lead times for the iPhone 12 Pro and strong initial demand at U.S. wireless carriers as supporting evidence. Apple will outperform other smartphone companies in terms of upgrades, Morgan Stanley reckons, with a bull case calling for 268 million iPhone shipments in fiscal 2021. The current consensus analyst estimate for iPhone shipments is just 213 million. So what was the ultimate upshot of these recent developments when it did come to Apple stock today on Wall Street? Well, let's dive into my Robinhood portfolio now and let's take a look. So we're in my Robinhood portfolio now, and like I said, I do believe this is an all-time high. Let's take a look at the all here. And a little bit hard to tell because it's quite close to October and then also September. Now you do have to keep in mind that when Robinhood does give you this chart, when you want to look at your all-time portfolio performance, it includes the money that you have put in. So it's not like my portfolio back in June of 2019 was $115,821. It was nowhere near that. In fact, I hit $100,000 of all my portfolios combined at the new year pre-COVID. So that's not necessarily an accurate representation when Robinhood gives you this all-time performance. So it is a bit hard to calculate, but you'd have to kind of just look at the line and basically the line chart and eyeball it from that. I do believe this is an all-time high though, being that I've contributed a lot more money towards my Apple stock since, for example, October and September when Apple did reach these highs. My portfolio was mainly driven in the last few months by Apple, even though I was still holding a couple of other stocks. But let's look at the day performance today. So basically about $5,000 added to the total portfolio worth. You had, at one point today, it was a lot higher. It actually did reach above 138,000 within the market period of time. What it's showing you right now is after hours included. So it did dip down slightly, Apple stock, which we'll take a look at in just a second. You can see the after hours here. It shows you the difference of the in hours and after hours. If you look at this line chart, see the color is changing right there. That's showing you the after hours and the in hours trading during the market. So after hours is this little period of time right here. But in all total, about $5,000 added to my Apple stock and my total portfolio. Look at the 1 week performance. Beautiful, very good. I like it. We're up over $8,000, about 6.25% just in this last week. Despite Apple, I was expecting it to actually be a lot higher by now with so much holiday spending. And you look at Black Friday. Black Friday had hit a record $9 billion in consumer spending despite the pandemic and people probably being more conservative with their spending. So even the pandemic, Black Friday hit an all-time record high. Then of course you add Cyber Monday and we didn't even get into December yet. So I do think that Apple stock will continue to rise, but I was actually expecting it to be just slightly higher than what it is right now as we're coming into the final month of 2020. But let's roll over now to Apple stock and take a look at what happened. So you can hear what I was talking about. Within the market hours, it did almost hit 121, came down below 120, almost went below 119, but then after hours it did comfortably stay in the 119 range, ultimately actually going back above 120. And now right now, including after hours, it does stand at 120.81, $2.46 up in hours, and an additional 176 after hours. So pretty consistent gain today overall, though. It started the day all the way at 117 rather. So definitely a good day for Apple stock, even though the market overall did not do tremendously well. And just looking at 1 week with the Apple stock there, you can see how it mirrors very split screen there. You could put between my portfolio and Apple stock, being that Apple stock has been on the rise in these last several days. The 1 month should also be up as well. At one point, though, towards the beginning of November, it was around the same territory. So it's not like it's been outrageously outperforming the market if you were to compare it to a Tesla, but it's still doing good nonetheless. It's definitely not on a downtrend anymore that it was in the previous few months that you can see here. Let's go now to the total market value. So 138,177.21 cents is the total market value for my Apple stock and the entire portfolio for that matter. Today's return alone, you can see almost $5,000 there, over 3.5%, 3.6%. Made the total return now almost $15,000, over 12% there on Apple stock. Average cost still stands at $107.83. Like I said, I always like to mention the average cost because no matter how much I pour in, look at how in the last update I poured in an additional $10,000, $11,000 with store stock, and yet the average cost did not even go up a full dollar. So if I can maintain that average cost, which I think I could be able to do, because I've been buying Apple stock for so long, even before this portfolio, but unfortunately that does not count. I should have done a stock transfer had I known that actually existed at the time a couple of years ago. Didn't even think that was a thing at the time, or perhaps just didn't even think it wasn't worth it. But what I did was, when I had my E-Trade portfolio, and that's where the bulk of my money was, I basically just sold all my Apple stock and put it in here. But it was only, I believe, over 20 shares or so it wasn't as consequential. I don't think it would have really mattered anyways. But that's something that, you definitely think about if you are moving your money and if you have a little bit more money to work with. Definitely think about actually transferring your stock if you want to transfer it to another broker as opposed to selling it and then buying it up in the next one. Little anecdote there. And market cap is comfortably back over $2 trillion. Has been that way though for the last couple of weeks after being dethroned the $2 trillion mark. And we're at 1,143.756371 shares. It makes up 100% of my portfolio and the portfolio diversity. Actually surprised it's not a little bit less than 100% because I do have 303 left. So if you really do math, it should be like 99.99% should be Apple, with the rest in cash. But that's where we are right now with Apple stock, and I'm looking forward to a strong holiday season with this super cycle just beginning. 5G technology is rolling out. iPhone 12 already all over TV. If you see the commercials for the iPhone 12, many people are gearing up, and almost everyone that's in love with Apple products and new consumers as well are going to be buying the new iPhone to take advantage of 5G technology. I'm curious what you think down below in the comments about 5G and its features and aspects. Do you think there's something behind it? I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories with 5G. Do you think there is something truly behind 5G technology, or is it just the next generation and you're not a truther like some of these people? What are your thoughts down below in the comments? I do hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Smash the like button for me. Go ahead and click that like button. Also, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the big red button. Also, hit the notification bell as well. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video.